6 p.m. Asking for a roll call.
Willie Campbell.
Here.
Nancy Brown. Here. Steve Burrow.
Here.
Gary Kemp. Ginger Holdren. Lisa Childress is setting in for Ginger Holdren. Jason Clausen.
Here.
Jason Rasnick.
Here.
Kelly Collins.
Thomas, stand in for couple. Here. Sitting in. And now we got the roll call. We're gonna start out with any public comments from the landfill committee. If you will, step up here, state your name and address, tell us what it's about.
My name is Vernon Clemens. I am the attendant at Rogue Mountain Convenience Center. And the comment that was made in the paper was insinuating that I'm dishonest. I do not like that comment. My books, my deposit books, and my tickets, daily tickets are available for anybody to see anytime. It just irks me. I'm 73 years old and still trying to work. And to think that somebody would think that I'm dishonest about it. Last week on Saturday, when Monday came, I deposited $735 at that little convenience center. Today, I deposited $815 from that little convenience center. So how in the world can I be taking money? I'm doing my dead level best to do it just like it should be done. And I don't like to be accused of thieving. I've never done it. I wasn't raised that way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Okay, sir, this is the first time I've met you.
Yes, ma'am.
How long have you been down there?
At the Rogue Mountain Convenience Center since, Frank retired April the 19th. I came back from, I had open heart surgery, had quadruple bypass and 2 clean outs. And they said that Frank was retiring and would I be interested in taking that job? I said, yes. I drive from Johnson City, 28 miles one way up here to work.
Well, I respect you for doing that, but I have had complaints where people said that they had to, when they pulled up, they put their trash in. Some of them's been asked to hit the button to smash the trash and had to bring the money inside to give to you.
Okay. A lady came up, yes, I know, I got an idea who it is. She told me, she said, you need to move your chair down here in the sun. If I had thought in time, I would tell her, I just had surgery. If you'll come up here and hold the umbrella over my head and fan me so I don't pass out, I'll be more than happy to.
It was a man, sir.
Well, there's a woman that fusses about it too. But well, what's wrong with them pushing the button and saving me from having to come out in the heat? I mean, they're right there. It's no big deal. You turn a key and it passes.
Well, I feel like, I guess a lot of our citizens feel like literally if they're paying to dump, they need to get service for what they're doing.
So you want me to go out and unload their trash for them and pat them on the back and say,
That's a service. Maybe I'm wrong. I work for a living too, but I feel like that's a service.
well, I've tried to retire from the landfill 3 times and I keep coming back. But, I try. It's just that right now, if you've ever had open heart surgery, you're going up and down them steps, it wears you out. I need a ramp in there anyway, because I've had people complain about it. the steps, even having to come up the steps. And they're starting to fall. So, I mean, I can, if you want me to, I'll go out and stand out there. All you got to do is tell me.
Well, I think we've got some issues that we need to address as a community. I mean, we're having a lot fall in our lap.
Well,
Vernon, is that, did you say Little Million or?
no, Road Mountain Convenience Center.
We need to figure out a defined, list of things that is your job duties. You know, we don't know that, so we can't say that's up to the director and the interim director. So as of right now, I say just do what you can do.
Well, the thing of it is, you know, like I say, I just had the surgery in March 27th. Okay. They really and truly haven't released me to go back to work, but by doing this job, it's not strenuous. I was driving truck, okay? And it's not strenuous on me and in my chest.
If you've not been released by a doctor, that's a liability on the county.
No, it ain't, because they done said everything's okay. I done been to my cardiologist and he turned me loose.
George,
It's not his fault if he's brought back. That'd be left on Benny. He's a director.
No, it wasn't on Benny. Benny wasn't there.
Whoever allows you to come back, if you
Well,
will.
I mean, it's not a strenuous job. I mean, if I can't drive a truck, that was my job before. I can't do that right now.
So are you medically released from your doctor?
Sure, my cardiologist in Kingsport, Tennessee released me.
Okay,
That's different.
yeah.
Yes, he released me.
So you're released to work, but maybe not released to,
Well, I go to the VA and they ain't sitting no papers or nothing, but the doctor at, Holston Valley, Dr. Gall, told me everything's fine. You have any problems, contact the VA. So I'm good.
Well, I just do the best you can,
I will.
and you're gonna have somebody, and it don't matter what, do the best you can.
For 15 years, I drove a tow truck dealing with the public. So I know how when dealing with the public, you're gonna have some problems. But the thing that really hurt me though, about the whole thing was it's the implication that, or insinuation that I might be taking money. I know, you know.
I don't recall the statement.
Well, read the article.
That was in the press, because I'm not,
Huh?
that was in the press, you said.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, because I got a copy
I
of
don't
it.
remember what was said neither.
That was actually before you even got to Road Mountain.
It was?
Yes, it was.
It was? Okay. But it just,
I understand.
okay, any other?
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Talking about they're pushing the button. Is there any danger that the public get hurt?
No, there's a big control panel right there. There's a red button that if you push it, it shuts everything down. But all you do is turn a key just like you're starting your car. That's all you got to do. There's no way that nobody can get hurt.
Good.
The only thing, it just kept me from having to come out in the heat.
Like
And then on top of that, my fan broke.
it on it broken.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak, public comments? Okay, we'll move on. Old business from our last meeting, Benny turned it in, it's 2 weeks' notice, and you got a copy of that. I thought Friday was his last day, but Carolyn says that Benny said tomorrow was his last day.
that's what he told me today. Morning.
So I thought that's all I put on old business, so we'll go straight into new business. We need to look at appointing an interim director for the time being. And also we need to post, I don't know how they do it, I guess on the county website, for a landfill director. And where Connie retired, we need a secretary. But the girl that works part-time wants to go full-time. So that would fill that position.
And he told me last week she did not, so.
Told me today on the phone.
Okay, well, because I asked him last week and he told me no.
She works part-time at Hampton Elementary at night, cleaning the school. And I spoke to Josh, and she don't get no benefits, or it's not a set pay. And she wants to come full-time so she can get county benefits. And Josh says, as long as it don't affect her full-time job, she could work school part-time.
Don't think so. Don't believe so. That's.
Well, she's working at night, I think she can.
Work as long as it doesn't conflict with her working hours here, she can work
Yeah,
15
but
jobs.
what about, so she's working 40 hours and then she goes to the school and works another 10 hours.
Well, the county, I mean, it's, in my opinion, I mean, she's paid through the county school system and she's paid here. And those are different. I mean, that same.
We're under the same umbrella, but I'll confirm that. I don't know that that's, I need to confirm that we're not considered the same entity.
I don't believe that the Carter County Board of Education and Carter County government are the same entity. She works apparently part-time at night, 3 nights a week. And at school, and I don't think if that didn't interfere with her full-time.
I mean, if it's Elizabethton City Schools, that, you know what I'm saying, there's a separation there, but I'll have to research that. I'm not sure that that's, we just need to make sure. We don't want to get in trouble for.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know how many hours she works, but it is a county school.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure that's will work. Because that's what Benny and I had discussed, and I told him I would research it further if she was interested, and he called me back and said she was not interested, so I just dropped it.
She is.
Would you not have to advertise that position and apply for it?
Yeah, we'd probably would have to post it, and then she apply for the job. If she's able to, I mean, we don't know if she can work both.
I don't think so, but I may be wrong.
I don't believe anybody that works for the school system is considered a county employee. I mean, just because we're under 81 Act and you handle the finances, no one that works for the school system receives county government benefits or is considered a Carter County employee. They're an employee of the Carter County School Board.
Be determined if, like, are they under different federal IDs, and that's the type of stuff that I'm concerned about.
Well, certainly look at it. I just, when I was asked the question, that was my thought. Certainly they're not Carter County employees that work for the school.
Yeah, I'll research it. Yeah. That's a job.
Okay, so we need to post the director job and the, let's see, secretary job. And Carolyn's gonna find out if one interferes with the other.
I think the committee would have to come up with a job description for the director.
Yeah. Before we can post it.
But just keep in mind, the only employee that you all hire at all is the director.
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean, we have to post both.
well, sure, I mean, you all hire and fire, supervise and oversee the aspects, but you hire and fire directly the director. The director decides who he hires as a secretary, not this committee.
Oh, so full commission don't.
No, sir. School commission doesn't hire anybody. Nor does this committee other than the director.
Okay. And then Chris is going to help out till we can get somebody in place. As long as it don't interfere with his job. Because he's certified as a landfill certification. He's gonna try to help us keep it going until we can get somebody in place.
Yeah, I took Stephen down. We got him certified a few months back, if you remember. And we didn't know if Benny was going to be medically released again or not. Now it seems that I think the board's been told that Mr. Salmons is planning on leaving us also. So that should be somewhere at the end of this month. And then, of course, we need to talk compensation, things of that nature too. But looking at that, we've got a lot of stuff to get taken care of. Matter of fact, Chris Lamb just sent me a text, or excuse me, an email from TDEC, who's on the landfill, our inspector for our landfill, needs some information. So, like I said, I'll help out for a little while and get us back on board, and then we'll discuss compensation here next as soon as we know what Stephen's going to do. I'll be more than happy to help Stephen a little bit here and there, but we need to take care of. There's a lot of things that just, there's a lot of aggravations up there and things of that nature, and some of it is just the environment they're working in. So there's some things that could be changed there to make the employees a little happier where they're at. And take care of your employees. Not that Mr. Lyons did not take care of them, but he did the best he could. But there's some things that are just essential to keep people going and make them happy. Like filtering a complaint. I don't know where Mr. Deal went, but we had a complaint the other day, and I just went ahead and drove right on over and took care of that. And it was squared away. Nobody wasn't doing their job. It was just somebody didn't understand how long it takes to take care of something. So a lot of things is communications, and I'll try my best to be open and outright with you all and the full commission itself. I still have to take it through my board to get their blessing to take on if we decide to. So we'll have to do a meeting with the two chairmen and myself to discuss that. And then I'd like to do some kind of contractual situation where after you all vote on it, send it to budget, and then send it on to full commission, that it is squared away and we have in writing, in hard, no offense to nobody, but my butt's calloused enough. So, and I highly suggest that if we do the advertisement on the job description and things, I'll be more than happy to help you, Mr. Kemp, and whoever you want to, and we'll sit down and get that worked out. And we'll work on that this week, try to get that squared away. A lot of things that need to be addressed up there, and a lot of minor things that would make major motions for people, if you understand what I'm saying. Not only at the full landfill or the recycling center, but at our convenience centers and things like that. So we just need to look at that. We need to see what our personnel is going to be. I hear rumors, and then I go and talk to them, and the rumors aren't 100% factual, so they say, but we'll see. But I'm pretty straight shooter, so just get ready for it, guys. I'm sorry.
Has anybody got any idea on how long it would take to find a valid candidate at full time? I don't think it's going to happen quick, in my opinion. So.
If I was going to advertise for that, I would probably, of course, do it in the two local papers to attempt to get somebody there. But also, I'd probably look at Linkit or somebody like that, or even rock and dirt, something that pertains to excavation, things of that nature. And I'll look more into that. I didn't know what water standards would be, and I'll try to give you a good rundown sometime before the end of the week. we'll get a job description, things of that nature.
I'm just thinking, when you go to your board, you're gonna probably have to give them a timeline on how long that you're gonna have to.
Well, my board's pretty, they're team players. I don't, it's, and they know, a lot of them that's on that board knows what's happened over the years. So they just want to make sure I'm squared away and we don't end up with a big hassle or anything of that nature. But I'm a team player too. I don't know how much longer I'm going to stay, but depends on if my daughter gets her major, or not major, but her dang, what is it? Yeah, not PhD. I can't think of what it is. But anyways, no, she got a bachelor's. She got 2 of them. Yeah, that. So it depends on if she's going to move forward with that. I don't want any of my kids to have that. And I've done so far 3 of them, so that's a pretty good lick. Hurts a little bit every now and then. But no, but I'll give 110%, and we'll get this going, and I can still keep my office running. I've got a good staff, and I think if I get to work with the staff that we've got up here, I think we can all work through it and see if we can get a little smoother and a little more flowing with the concerns.
One thing I was gonna say is the salary. You're gonna advertise, I think this board's gonna have to address the salary. But it's not adequate.
It's probably low for the
It's
industry.
low. Yeah.
It is.
It's low for all of them.
For the director, it's low. I think you're gonna have to get it to where you're gonna get some qualified candidates for it. I think.
Yeah, if you want the right candidate, you're gonna have to pay up.
Where's the salary at with the raise for the director?
58.
No, it's 54, I think. 54.
I thought
Last I seen it was 54 without the raise.
without the raise. I think with the raise, wasn't it 58?
58 days, I think it's.
58.
It's about 4.
So I talked to a waste management consultant, and the first time, and he had turned in his resignation, and he said about 62, you'd be in the game. So that's his opinion. So
Yeah. It's a little low. You just wouldn't want to hire one that just didn't pan out once he gets in there and says this ain't enough,
We walked in and
Then there
realized
you are hiring another
we've
one.
got all this going on.
Well, you get a bad reputation when you start rolling people through.
Yeah, you don't want to a lot of turnover on that position, I imagine.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak? There's several things that I want to suggest that you keep in mind. For one is, it is the immediate need before we keep things flowing and provide the service we do, because we have outside contracts that we have to satisfy. What's been discussed so far, he has those qualifications for the, I'm gonna say an interim, but use that to our advantage. For number one is you're gonna advertise for a full-time. Being full-time don't necessarily mean that you have to have the complete qualifications. I don't know what the classification is,
This is class 1.
but anyhow, it can lead up, have a year's leeway for them to complete that. That can be a part of your requirements on the employment. They have to successfully complete that within a year's time, or whatever time table it is. In the meantime, you have someone already qualified. Secondly, is if you find a candidate that you feel would be comparable to take on that position, you have an interim in place that has the background that can evaluate, I'm gonna say maybe up to 30 days after hiring, to advise you or make recommendations to you as a board as to whether they're worthy or whether not. That might help alleviate having to change over so often, because one come in and find out they can't do it. The whole process is gonna have to be a remake. It's just not only a director's position. I mean, that's hanging on by a thread, and all of us are wired, all of us commissioners. And it's not gonna be easy, but for the quickest remedy right now, that, I think, I would recommend that would be how you look at it now. In using some of the statement to the fact of, that it need to be contractual or whatever the agreement is to compensate, being the interim, it be the double-headed director. You have to give him full authority. It's your daily operations, unless you want to get out of your bed in the morning as a commissioner and be down there every day, answer all the questions and take all the actions, which there's a lot of you commissioners that would do that for 1 or 2 days, but it get old after a while. But what it referenced is having sat on the commission to which they authorize him to do perform certain acts within this county, saying, we'll take care of you, and did, and saved the county a considerable amount of money. And it progressed on to when it came time to compensate, says, we'll buy you a pop and a pack of crackers. That it, that ain't right.
No.
None whatsoever. And of course, it's up to you all as a committee to make the recommendations in your motions, but you be open-minded about it. And we do have, of course, you've already got a line item. It's a new budget year, and you got the full salary. Now you got the exit of a director. So that salary line item can be used to supplement whoever is the interim until a new one is appointed. So it makes it pretty easy.
I agree with what you said, a year's time, because on a certification, they only give it once a year, so it'll be next June before whoever got the job would be able to certify.
You have an advantage because in this, I'm gonna say quick patch, and that's not a very descriptive way. You have someone that's already certified. That can be training to whoever you select from that position, where they could be on board learning. And you couldn't learn from somebody that, my feeling is you couldn't learn from somebody any better than that. And that would help step that up even more and help our position, because what we as a full commission and what you as a board are looking at is completely renew. And it's going to be hard. Have to deal with the ongoing proposed new and then the finances of it. And that's what you're going to have to face, because there is no pot.
When I originally took it over, when I first hired Benny and I brought him in, I was over the landfill after Ed passed away, several other things here in the county. So it's not new to me. And we took it from the red and brought it back into the black. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked at what our receivables are compared to what our expenditures are. So, and that's the question I've got. Me and Miss Carolyn will work that out the next couple of days. And I can give you a real educated brief on it, where we stand. And I think we're in pretty fair shape, not great shape, but fair shape. And yeah, the county has put a lot of money in from general fund, equipment, things of that nature. But you got to remember too, we're running up there with a track hoe to do our cover. And there's a lot of other things. We've got to look at a progression on what we're going to do on a new transfer station, which I got some ideas on that. We've got to look what our progression is going to be for another C&D, class 3, class 4 landfill. I've already discussed it with the Nashville TDEC on permitting, and they kind of gave me that might work. We got a situation right now where we're on a notice of violation that we have to handle, and we've got to do some LIDAR stuff, and I've already requested bids on those. So I've been working on all it. But there's a lot of things, it's also its own MPDS permitting up there for stormwater. So you got to have somebody that's a MS2 that has a level 2 certification. Well, I'm a level 2. Benny's level 2. Right now, Will Miller is a level 2 in our county, and the only other licensed, and I don't think he renewed his, is one gentleman that's probably 70 years old that still has his licensing here in the county. That's not a PE or somebody's going to charge you, heavy 6-digit to come in there too.
If you're over 70, you've had it. Is that what you're trying to say?
Say that,
Oh, okay.
one bit.
I just want to make
But anyways, there's a lot more to it. Then we also we got to see if we're a non-title or a Title 4, or 5 burn on our incinerator. Got a lot of things like that. I started checking on that Friday, and and didn't really get my call back like I was supposed to yesterday from Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. So I'm utilizing that. We're looking at that and our recycling. I know we want to upgrade our recycling. I hope we can work with the city and get something a little bit better than what we had, maybe move forward. I know that's some people think it's a cuss word, but we all live in the same county, guys. So we'll look at that and work with that. But,
Chris, you mentioned receivables. I can't give you that information because I don't have the documentation, which is what we were just talking about. I pulled the audit documents out when we were in that audit meeting. The agreement was that those invoices were going to be brought to the finance department. I have August of 2022. So I can't provide receivables because I don't have the documentation to do so.
Actually, it's in the car.
Okay.
I didn't bring it up here because
I've asked Benny for it multiple times, and matter of fact, I asked him again today, because
I didn't hear what you said. I'm sorry.
I had asked Benny for it multiple times, and they came in and sat with me last week and wanted to know where we were, and I'm like,
That's where it goes back. No, I'm not Benny. When you keep saying I've asked for it multiple times, we all know that it gets lost. When Steven's in the picture, you might as well hold your breath.
Miss Carrie, can you bring it first thing in the morning to Miss
Like I said,
Carrie?
it's in the car in the parking
Well,
lot.
I mean, it's tonight,
I'll walk down and get it. I mean, I was ready to go up there and get it today, and he said it wasn't ready.
All right, yeah, we'll get that tonight when everything's said and done, if that's all right.
Now, that's from the chair standpoint and financial management's meeting this morning. We'll say that is something that has to be updated. It may have to be newly created once our finance director is present and sees how the operation operates, to where we can, I'm gonna say, customize, tailorize, use the programs they got or refresh the programs that they have, to where finance department gets the information that is necessary for us to be accountable on accounts receivable, and then also sustains the audit. Now, right now, as it stands, we're facing a major hit, and it's not going to be taken lightly. Now, that's, we have been, 9 years without a major hit. And I know what it was. I was there when the first one came 9 years ago, and it is not nice, and it's expensive. So, but the problem that exists are curable. I'm going to say they're simple. As long as the procedure is set down on how it's done. Even if we have to sit down with a piece of notebook paper and tell you, when you drive up the window, they give you a $5 bill, they need a $5 receipt. That receipt goes to, it's listed in. End of the day, director, you are to account for your balance for the day of the intake, what you pour. And then at the end of the day, it's going to be deposited somewhere. I mean, if we have to get down that simple, that's fine. Just so that everybody's on the same line, and then the finance department receives the numbers that we need to be able to watch the funds and be able to advise you all on what your receipts are.
I think that's doable. I don't think it's a big problem. I don't know the computer systems they're utilizing right now, and we'll get together. One thing, Brad, and the rest of you, when I stepped in right here, I kind of let my hay go. I've got 9 acres of hay down. Tomorrow I'm putting hay up, okay? And then I'm done for several weeks, but it's getting up tomorrow. But I will come in tomorrow, Carrie, and see you guys, and then
We'll torch that hay. Don't worry about it.
you'll be feeding my cat.
Well, I won't be there half a day tomorrow, maybe.
Morning or afternoon?
I don't know. I have other things to deal with tomorrow.
All right, when you get that, then you and I can sit down Thursday, and you can go over all that with me, please.
I didn't hear what he was saying.
I'm saying, if we can, if you're gonna be off half a day tomorrow, I understand that. We'll get together Thursday and sit down, we'll get those receivables to her tonight, we'll be good to go, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Another thing, I want to kind of stand behind and carry them. I know the director gets the emails, but those emails don't always go back to them and said, hey, I need this. So they need to get, like if you need something, they need to get it, not Benny, not Steven, because it gets put back here, Stephen and Benny don't tell them, hey, I need this. Well, they don't know.
I'll tell you, wait, I'm sorry, Gary. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, give me the emails of the people and I'm glad to send it out. And I think that was my response to you. Tell me what the emails are of the people that need the information. But when
If you got
I
some-
first started this position and I spoke with the director, he said, send everything through him. He would disseminate it out to whoever it needed to go to. So that's what I've done since the day I walked in the door.
I would think that's how it should go, just one point of contact instead of you reach out
Only it
to
don't-
the employee. That's up to the director.
Now, I think there's a general like landfill email, so it could be that we use that one. I don't know who all has access to it, which that's fine. But at the end of the day, it's the director's responsibility to make sure the information is given to
See, we
me.
was getting emails until Stephen,
So what I did in my office, and then I think I had one of the first computers here. I drove one from somewhere. But anyways, my general email that comes in to me is planning@cartercountytn.gov. Everybody in my office has access to that email. Now, if I'm dealing with somebody that's a multimillionaire getting ready to do a big project up here and stuff, they get my personal email. But anything that comes in, and several of you see that, I'll send something to your personal email, but I'll make sure that you're informed. But my secretary gets to see that email. Anybody, transparency is the best way to maintain a good controlled environment, especially when you're dealing with monies, personnel. We've got a federal and state contractual agreement, our MPDS, and then our landfill, on our class 1 and our class 4 C and D, plus all our transfer stations, plus our convenience centers. So we'll get that worked out. I think me and Miss Carrie can get that worked out, and we can get it on the computers and go from there. But transparency is the best way. You don't hide stuff from anybody, which I didn't say anybody is, or did, but it's just a whole lot easier, even though I'm the director of Carter County Planning and Zoning and Building. My builder inspector knows what's going on, my codes enforcement officer, and my secretary. Secretary's a big important spot, especially when you work for me, because I'm hard on it. It just is what it is. But that's what it needs to be, open and transparent. And if there's something that needs to go personal, it needs to go personal emails. If it needs to be in operations, if it needs to be in a secure manner, then it can go to your individual personal email. But I think that's the best way to approach that.
It wouldn't be hard to set up a departmental email for them to handle all the requests from the finance department and other departments to the landfill.
There is a departmental email, it's a solid waste email.
So
I think Carrie uses that, and then Benny has a normal regular county email, so
and then Stephen has one.
I don't know what Stephen has, but the solid waste email is the one that you always give to me, that I always use. I have to email.
See, I think earlier on there was a statement made, or I'd read it in some of the memos that come on the computer, that there was problems with the line system, the servers going into the landfill, as far as computer lines, phone.
It's the phone.
Remember, we had,
Computers working.
we're in the process of putting in a machine to accept credit cards, and it could not be accomplished because the phone lines and all that, copper.
You heard anything
Is that
from
incorrect?
Spectrum?
I was just getting ready to say that. I have not heard anything from Spectrum, but we did get a Spectrum invoice. So I'm assuming they just transferred the number. We did not see almost said a trustee, a technician or anything. But there is an invoice.
So nobody's came up there.
No.
I can talk to Spectrum, we can get together.
Maybe that the line, that I'm gonna say is usable, but maybe not.
Well, the line right now, from the building, lays in that ditch going down through there. The trucks run over it.
If it's sprinkled, you have no.
It's not up on the pole, it's in the ditch line, phone line is.
It's a
And
new.
I use my personal cell phone to,
It's laying in the ditch line going by there.
Ain't a lot of these card readers internet based, and y'all say you have a stable internet connection, right? It never goes out the internet, correct?
okay, for instance, me and Christina can be sitting right next to each other. Our internet will be going back and forth. We won't have any on the computer. I have internet on my phone. She won't have internet on her phone.
Okay. Yeah, well, I guess we need to figure that out, because I know a lot of the POS, the point of sale systems are.
Inside, because.
We'll get it figured.
Yeah.
We'll work on that Thursday, okay? See if we can get all this stuff squared away.
I'm not losing sleep over it, y'all. There's more important things we need to worry
Yes, ma'am. But,
Anyone else?
about. I'm just being honest.
Steven, he's quit, of course. He's not even, he don't want to.
I don't know. He put an application in with the city.
I mean,
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
is Steven,
I spoke with Stephen last night and he's still questionable. You know, I would like to see Stephen stay, but man's got to do what a man's got to do.
and I'm not knocking, I didn't know what his plans was as far as, was he interested in the intern, or is he just?
I mean, the county spent money to send and get him certified, so we've got that situation, but of course, this is, one of those situations, if he leaves for another governmental authority, you can't really handcuff him and tie him to a desk, so he got an offer he's kind of felt like he couldn't refuse, so.
He is, what,
I got a 50-50. I was flipping a coin last night when I was talking to him, so that tells you where we are.
That's honestly why we're on that. We don't know.
Wait a second, Steve asked first.
Can you give us an idea of what it's gonna take for you to do this job?
To be honest with you, I think the salary we got right now, is gonna be tough to hire a new director, get somebody here that's qualified. Not only we have a landfill certification they got to do, but they're also gonna have to do, like I was talking about, either it's a Title V or it's a non-Title V burner incinerator we got up there. I believe it's a non-title, and I'm waiting on TDEC to give me a call back. I may be able to take some of my old stuff and get it back in shape pretty quick. If not, then I'll probably have to run down and take a test, get all that stuff squared away. But I was looking probably around, I don't foresee us getting somebody and get them in the hole and working it and being able to walk off. Because it took me 1.5 years to get it the last time when it was all screwed up. We had all those problems. We were in the red, had theft up there, things of that nature. That was 2 of us working on it, just me and bringing somebody in. Hopefully we can find somebody. There might be somebody that's retired from Las Vegas or somewhere that wants to come out here to live in the mountains, but I don't foresee it because I've been looking for somebody to do GIS stuff for me for how long now, Brad? 3 years? And they all get their master's degree and they think they're worth more than what they are. And then when you do find somebody that has a little bit of knowledge on it, but they're somewhere over here, they still think they're worth more than what Carter County's going to pay them. And it's not just Carter County. It took Sullivan County. They just now got theirs squared away, and we've been looking at the same time. I mean, we shared information and everything. I even did an interview for a guy in Knoxville. So, wanted to work from home. So it's going to take a little while. And we got to have somebody. If not, then we're going to have TDEC down our throat, and they're going to come in and shut us down. This is something we have to maintain, So that's about where I stand.
As far as you doing the interim,
People know how much on your contract.
yes,
If we do a contractual agreement for a year, I would feel comfortable with 30. And that still gives us enough money if we go 6 months to bring in the new possible director and give us enough time to work that out. So if that makes sense.
So you're saying an additional 30 to what you're at, and we was paying Benny 50 on the new raise, and then 58, so it's still a net savings 28.
Yeah, I want to make sure there's money there, so if we bring somebody in, let's say 3 months from now or whatever, that gives me enough time to get them trained up and gives them
And it's
enough
gonna
money.
take a while.
Sir?
It's gonna take a while, I'm sure. Even with the right guy. you know.
Especially if we move forward with the future plans. And like I said, we got a transfer station to do. We got all kinds of stuff.
A lot going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna be, if I'm here, I'm gonna be asking y'all for some money, so just get ready. Tell me no or whatever. Anyways. I'm telling you, I shoot straight. That's.
But we're down to deal acts right now.
I think you might, I mean, I hope, I guess this is hopeful, that you might draw some interest from somebody working at another landfill in another county that may be working in a supervisory role under someone that has a lot of time left, that may be interested in, a director's position. That's what I'm hoping for.
Well, I know of one person that's pretty close to right here, lives in Carter County, but he works for waste management, and it would be an interesting situation to see how he deals on the civilian side, deal with the governmental side, if that makes sense.
That'd be an eye opener.
It's just like,
Yes, sir.
there's a gentleman that works for Blue Ridge that said he would come to work for the landfill in a heartbeat if the money was right. He makes more at Blue Ridge than he does, he's CDL licensed.
Yeah.
If we don't
But
pay
then
it.
again, you gotta look at, and I know people are gonna say, but you gotta look at the benefits as working in TCRS. You got one of the best retirements in the country. You gotta look at, we've got pretty doggone good medical insurance. And we've got a lot of plans there. I know people don't look at the benefit portion, but I was always taught, even as a young man, you look at what the benefits are too. So you gotta add that in. And I'm not sitting here trying to preach or nothing, but that's just the way it is.
Okay.
The question I had already got asked. Thank you.
What else?
Commissioner comments? I've got some.
That's why I was getting ready to call.
You got a vote on that, or how's that? Chris?
You have to have a motion.
We don't,
Yeah, it has to be put in salary time. Already, oh my God. That's what you're going to do, go as an interim.
Yeah, they have to make sure they.
Vote on how long.
Vote on it.
Motion and second.
We got a
Director
vote.
Schuler's gonna maintain the role up to a year, the salary.
And I think 1 year at a time would be the best way to address that. Because hopefully, I mean, I'm praying that somebody comes in that's super hot and
Don't get your hopes up, Chris.
we can change that, huh?
Don't get your hopes up. It ain't gonna happen.
No, I'm talking about super, yeah. I can see where your mind is, but then anyway, somebody really knows what they're doing. How about
No,
that?
I was talking about, don't get your hopes up that somebody's gonna come quick.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You're
Okay.
not gonna get
I
nobody.
thought you went down a rabbit hole there for me.
No. I just don't think there's, I don't think the job's gonna be filled quick. I just don't think that, that you're gonna find the fit that we need in a hurry. It's gonna take a little while to find the right candidate.
Because I mean, it's a whole, people from Carter County are a whole lot easier to lead than they are to push. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
Exactly. That's about anywhere though.
But, you gotta treat your people right. And I don't really, I know Carrie, I know, Smiley right there. She just had a baby, right? Yeah.
We just got her done.
I just got here.
Yeah. Changed her hair color. But anyways, they do stuff like that, but, and to deal with the recycling, I mean, really, hopefully tomorrow, me and Benny, if I get a minute, me and Benny's gonna go around and shake hands, just so I know everybody.
That'd be good.
All right. how this needs to be written.
I'm just saying that.
So from 7/11/23 to 7/11/24. Hold on a minute.
That means you're calling it 2 budget periods.
Yeah, it's gotta be to
So we can-
You have
30th
to do an FY motion.
FY.
So at the end of the fiscal year, it's June 30th next year.
I think yes.
June 30th, 24.
All the duties.
Motion 30.
Look on that, anybody else.
They could say something like that. Be compliant. You just paid one salary.
Yeah, I mean,
22.
I've got to do some additional research, but his current position title of planning director is going to have to be modified. The landfill will have to pay the county back for whatever compensation it is that you're going to give him, but he can't get a check from the landfill and from the county. It all has to be together.
Right.
So, and then there would have to be, I guess, some sort of agreement or something with your committee.
Right, and that's what I was discussing with you earlier today, and that's what I'm saying. My chairman at the planning commission and you as chairman of this board, after you vote, we still have to go through that hump and bump.
I was gonna put that in my motion, as long as planning commission.
And as long as that money is transferred from, because it's 2 different major line items it's coming from, it's 2 different
Right.
portions. It doesn't come out of general fund, it comes out of solid waste. So that would be backed into my salary line item.
Yeah, so it has to be moved, and it's a salaried position, so it's,
Be transferred automatically, yes, ma'am.
since it's a salaried position, it's not the same as what we discussed before, because there's no hours limit, because it's a salaried position already, so it is kind of what it is.
So this fiscal year, the next fiscal year, is that what I need to
To June.
That till June
say?
30th.
Up to June 30th of the next fiscal year.
It's fiscal.
No,
This fiscal.
This fiscal year, it goes, you can start.
You start.
Today's date, the
Right.
11th. and-
No, it's June 30th.
June 30th.
With,
Say the remainder of this fiscal year.
right. With the agreement of the planning commission.
Sorry, Glenn.
All right, for directorship, we're to do a dual role. Is that what I need to say, or for solid waste and stay as planning director
With full authority.
with full authority at the landfill
As the interim landfill.
as interim director.
I second that motion.
Wait a minute.
Once you're finished. Sound like he's done.
With the pay of $30,000 for the year.
Not to exceed. Funds coming from landfill to be going over to the planning.
Coming from landfill to the planning.
Where's the salary?
I would just say an increased salary of 30,000.
Yeah.
He's increasing his current salary.
You're
Doing fine. That's with the landfill paying back the county for that 30.
right. You don't care to read that back when we get done. I know what I'm saying.
Piecemeal that.
Yeah.
Third word I kept, no, I'm just kidding.
Motion to pay Director, Planning Director Chris Schuler for a dual role, full authority at the landfill as interim director for the fiscal year from today, 7/11/2023 through June 30th, 2024, with agreement from the Planning Commission to increase his salary by $30,000, with the landfill paying the county back for that $30,000. Is that good? I've got it in pieces and parts.
Now I second that motion. Say it was a 28 plus salary, and then there's no benefit.
Still around it. Did you get Jason Resnick second?
See,
Call for a roll call on that, or? Yeah, roll call.
Billy Campbell.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Steve Burrow. Gary Kemp.
Aye.
Lisa Childress. Jason Clausen.
Yes.
Jason Resnick.
Yes.
And Thomas Profit.
Yes. Josh, does that still have to go to the full commission, correct?
Not necessarily for you to be designated as the interim. This committee does that. This committee's in full control of that position. I mean, the planning commission, just like the planning commission's in full control of you.
There's no additional budgetary, so it'd be nothing but just amendment.
Just be an amendment to move the money.
That's it. So it's already in the budget.
You didn't say it in that motion. I mean, so if you're advertising now and you're gonna hire somebody, is he still staying for the full year even if you hire somebody, or what we doing?
I think if I get them trained up in 6 months, then we just readjust. I mean, that's.
I think you need to go ahead and advertise for,
Yeah, because it's gonna take a while.
I'll assist you in getting that squared away.
But then 6 months he's trained.
Then we need to drop back and we need to do a budget amendment and drive on a different way unless y'all change your mind. It's just, I mean, that makes sense. I ain't doing it for free, but I ain't gonna rip y'all off.
No, you need to be compensated because you're walking into a little bit of a headache.
Trust me, I'll be in a lot of headache. It's pretty bad when you're in places in the world and you have to use Brad Johnson's name to get some material.
Yeah, that'll get you put in jail without a doubt.
I feel confident, Chris, you'll do a fine job, and that thing will be running a lot better than it is right now in just a couple of months.
Yeah, and Mr. Lyons, Benny, he's like a brother to me, but now Benny's been under a lot of stress.
I understand.
Terrible things.
I couldn't imagine what he's been
He's a
through.
good man, but he's just been really overstressed. And like I told him, anything I can do to help him, he and I, we still communicate. I hired him away from Johnson City, and brought him over here. And he started out with just a hair bit less money than he was making there, but, we built it up to where he needed to be. And then just all these tragedies have happened and situations. And I just, there's some things a man can't get over.
I understand that.
And just pray for him and keep him on your mind. And you see him, you pat him on the back and tell him hello, don't hi at him, okay? I appreciate that.
I mean, I agree. Benny's been an asset to this county for 15 years. He deserves the respect from this county. He's been through, him and his family, been through a terrible tragedy. Nothing I'd wish on anybody. And I appreciate everything he's done for this county. He's worked with nothing up there with stuff that's fallen apart for years and he has cut corners and tried to save every dime he can. And that's probably why we're in the shape we're in, but he was doing it to try to help the taxpayers and the county budget for that place. And I mean, he's been an asset to this county, and I haven't even got.
I've seen the man cry because something bad happened up there. I've seen him emotionally break down, and when the garage burned, he emotionally broke down. You can ask Miss Deeds, Miss Culler, some of those people are on that board at that time, but just the tragedies that have happened to Benny over and the continuing festering of those tragedies has been terrible. Anything that's wrong up there, it's like the mayor said, you know, we tried to piece and part. I mean, when we got there, we got shut down as soon as one of the former county executives came in, or county mayors came in, on silly stuff.
And I think Chris will agree, it's not an 8 to 4:30 job. He is always answering phone calls on Sundays, Saturdays. I've seen him at ball games, people coming up and asking for dumpsters and him trying to sort stuff out. I mean, he's just been a asset to the community and to the county. He's a wonderful person, a wonderful family, and it's going to be hard to replace his shoes as far as what he does outside of that realm.
That's a lot. I'm going to say something. That's a lot that all the commissioners, you know, a lot of Carter County doesn't understand. I say the landfill is the island for misfit toys. Because Chris, we're back there. People don't see us unless you come to the landfill. Right. So I do feel like, and I'm not the only one, we get forgotten about back there. You know, so we are like a family. And, you know, with the incident, I'm not going to speak of again, people's like, okay, you're still there? Yeah, I'm still there. It's not for you guys. It's not for, you know, for Benny, which you guys know I'm, you know, I'll support Benny 100%. You know, I'm going to be honest with you, Miss Connie's feelings was hurt. She retired, not one phone call except from Gary. 13 years that lady gave to this county, not one phone call.
Well, I didn't get a chance to go by her and see her because Miss Connie's always been my buddy up there, so she's always.
Like I said, except from Gary.
Yeah. So,
you know, and I
know where she lives, and I hadn't stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
And I told Gary, as far as somebody being in the office, Christina, we're not ready right now because there's no replacing that woman.
No. The knowledge and the experience she had, and that she lives off the viewpoints that I see. If somebody comes in with the aggravated expression on their face, she wants to at least send them out straight faced or smile.
Somebody described her as if Sweet Tea was a person, it was her.
That's a good analogy, yeah.
It's, you know.
Don't try it, Patty. I know you're looking at trying to use that.
Nobody will ever say that.
We won't go there.
Okay, guys,
We'll get our change.
Mr. Chairman, we just wait.
Take care of everything, so I don't need to go.
4 o'clock. Yeah. I've got my grandkids in the morning. 4 o'clock.
So then I'll just wait. Then I'll just wait and go with Chris on Thursday and
Chris, are you gonna go for tomorrow?
I guess I'll have to. But I've got a few things here that we need to look at. And Carrie, since you might not be there tomorrow, do we have our tangible assets and what we've got in their equipment, things of that nature? Do we have a list of all that? All right, and our we got our contracts where we have contract with whoever, Blue Ridge and all that stuff. You've got that in office.
We don't have a contract with Blue Ridge. When we do have a contract is the city. Blue Ridge pays the same amount as everybody else. I don't know whoever started that they don't, but they do.
Okay. And then you're my Skyward. You handle my Skyward for me?
Christina and I both.
Okay, that's cool. So we'll need to look at that too, Miss Carolyn, on Skyward. I need to be able to pull up that also on my site, not only my planning and floodplain, but also need to be able to pull up.
Go up there on Thursday, not go up.
Thursday, we can go anytime Thursday. Tomorrow's just gonna be a rough day for me. But I'll be here first thing in the morning. I just gotta move a couple pieces of equipment. Sir,
Talking about 4 o'clock with the.
I know I have to be up there at 4 o'clock tomorrow also with
But I
the,
don't need to go to that now, as long as you're going and y'all are making sure all that's done.
and I'll see Benny tomorrow too, and me and him will sit down and talk over. So I'm gonna try to eat with him in the morning, go do some shake and
I'll be
grill.
there at 4 o'clock. I'm not gonna leave Christina to the wolves by herself.
My wolf died.
Smile.
I need to have a wolf. You remember that, don't you?
Okay.
That's supposed to be.
Who's
Go ahead and let him first.
I just wanted to make a suggestion. I know Chris seems like he's going to be a strong leadership up there. When you're looking at people who fill this position, you need to look at their leadership abilities. You need to look at their background and their finance, their computer skills that they have. Don't just pull somebody up because you need somebody, but you need to really look at the position description of what you're going to be working under. And while you're at it, you're restructuring some things. You know, you got a director, but you know, that director can't be out there under a bulldozer, working on a bulldozer. You know, they're the authority of the landfill. And they need to be in the supervisory role. They need to have some HR experience because you got 20 employees. Somebody needs to know how to handle 20 employees, and how to have evaluations on those employees, what their PDs say, what that position description says. If you don't have that in the role of that leadership, and you know, you've got a director, you might want to start a new position called an assistant director, because you've got 20 people to look after. One person can't look after 20 people spread all over this county. So there's some things that you need to look at before you hire that person. And look at their abilities. They may not have that landfill background, but if they've got all these other skills, they can learn that landfill and they can get certified. But when you're looking at that person, you really need to think about what they're doing and the authority they have. Because they got to answer to the state, they got to answer to the committee, and they got to answer to the commission.
Yes, sir.
And you need that strong person in there that don't care to say to an employee, you need to change this. And don't be soft with them. You can't be. You have to be stern because you're an authority.
It doesn't care to hurt feelings.
Yes, you have to be compassionate as well. I know I was a supervisor for 60 people. But I had people that was subordinate. They had subordinates. But you have to have that strong leadership if you're going to make the landfill like it should be. I think Chris has that leadership ability, but he's not going to always be there. That's why you need somebody that can follow him for a while.
And I think of doing it, setting up like what we're looking at, bring them in, and hopefully we'll find somebody with a strong background. And like Mr. Cable said, you know, it's not rocket science. There's a little bit of rocket science as far as excavation and things of that nature, and understanding how to do the cell systems and what we have to do as far as permitting and things of that nature. And what we're doing as far as our NDPS permitting and things of that nature. But all that is doable as long as you're transparent and you keep good contact back in the
It's a business. It's a business. They got a $1.9 million budget. They got over $2 million revenue. So that's a business.
Yeah.
And you have to have somebody that can lead that business.
And this solid waste, when we took it over a long time ago, it was in the red. Like I said, it was a cash cow for Carter County for years and years. So if the cash cow's not there anymore, it's survivability. So it's basically, like you said, it's a business.
we got any commissioner comments?
Okay. Well, thank you first and foremost, Chris, for taking this on because you took on a mess.
It'll be squared away.
Yeah.
It looks terrible, but I think it needs just a little organization, ma'am, and we'll get it squared.
And as far as that goes, I respect you, I really do. But I take my seat here very responsible, and I think we all do, and want to see the best is done for our county that can be. I went and spent some time with Chad today, and I was really shocked. I got some paperwork and I was blowed out of the water. I didn't realize that when Benny was on vacation or sick leave here, that his personal business, he turned in a check for $17.32 during the time that he was supposed to be on our sick time.
He still had employees working.
Yeah, well, I went back. His business is doing really well.
It is.
I mean, really, really well. And I mean, to empty trash up there, I just wonder myself, did somebody supervise that? I mean, how's that done?
As far as his trash.
Yeah, personal,
His business trash.
yeah.
It comes through the scale just like everybody else's. That's the way it should happen. And I'm sure Carrie and I've got a bunch of north and west or north and south somewhere, yeah. So it came through, weighed in, weighed out.
Well, yesterday I was told that the money from the landfill come in at 20 minutes till 4. And the landfill don't close until 4:30.
Landfill.
It's from the prior day, because I talked to the trustee's office about that today, because it's creating a hardship for them to come in that late. It's for the prior day's deposit, so it's not for the current day. It's for the, is that correct, Carrie? That's what I was told by the trustee's office.
She can't hear you. It's giving the prior day, finances is coming in. So at 4 o'clock, whenever it comes in, the chat.
So that they had to be there by 15 after 4.
Yeah, we asked him to have a meeting, to bring it in early, because Chad had made that comment to me and asked to bring it up. And we asked him to make sure that they get it in Chad's office by 4:15, correct?
I have documentation. It might have been in my office by 4:15 once in the past 3 weeks.
Late or early?
Early. I've had to unlock my door to let him in.
Oh, okay. We'll get that fixed. That's.
It really needs to be there by 3 o'clock in order for them to have time to process it.
Yeah, because.
And not have to use the staff over.
Shut down our day.
Exactly.
That's
After
totally
we take in the
understandable.
money. So.
It's just hard when we have people up at demo and they're filling our computer.
I think this is an easy fix. I think.
Well, I know for years,
We'll work with you guys.
it was brought in the morning time, the next morning. But we had problems where it wasn't correct all the time. So that's when the auditors recommended that they bring it in after they close down at 4 o'clock. And we are completely fine with that. But I've got to have it in there before 4:15. And we're talking about the summertime when I have no customers in there.
Exactly.
Come January and February, it better be there at 3:45 or you'll be waiting. You know?
We can remedy that. I mean, we do have a safe and I know the safe got broke into. We'll work on that also.
Yeah, I was gonna just make the suggestion, I know we do this actually. Maybe you could count down at say 3:45, which you just got 15 more minutes left, right? Count down at 3:45, just count the money, switch over to the next day. Anything that comes in from 3:45 to 4 o'clock goes on tomorrow's.
Yeah, we'll check with the auditor, make sure they're cool with that, and that's a good idea too, so.
Well, I'm sure you can do it even earlier, but
You can.
the bulk of your business is really in the mornings till
Exactly.
1 o'clock.
2 o'clock, 2:30,
Something like
somewhere in
that,
there.
so.
And I am totally okay with helping any way that we can. I just can't keep accruing comp time every single day, because if I keep one person in there, we all stay.
Right.
One person don't leave unless we all leave. So if we're, 15 minutes, you're an hour comp time right there. It's like that. And I know they close down at 4, So they have to count the money, then they have to drive it to us, and that's already probably $420. You know what I mean?
I think we can work that out, and we'll check with the auditor.
That'll work.
We'll get it squared away. I think it's an easy fix. I hope so.
Any other commissioner comments?
I got one, the sign up at the recycling center that's open on Saturday. There needs to be a new sign put out. They got somebody took the initiative to write a handwritten sign. But it's a piece of siding that says Saturday 8 to 12, but it would be nice to have some signage at
Look at Shannon.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, you build a face
We'll go ahead, Mark. Hit me up for 5.
I think if we had some signage at the road, because, of course, recycling is revenue. And if we had better signage out there at the road and where you turn up the recycling center, given the hours and all that would help a lot.
Okay, along that line, as soon as we get that open, we won't be open in 5 on Saturday, so we don't need a sign saying, hey, we're open after day on Saturday. The update for you other commissioners, we have the gate moved. We had put new nylon rollers on the gate. You couldn't open it and shut it without an act of Congress. So we've got the new rollers and the new gate. We got the fence, pads poured. We've got the dumpster sitting on the pad. We've got to stencil like cardboard, plastic, and then we've got to get some gravel put down, and we should be able to open that to the public. Yeah, Shannon's gonna help us on that.
Anything Steve wants.
And once we get that done, we're going to call, what's his name, Rob? John, yeah. We're gonna call him and he's gonna write an article up. We're gonna get it put in the paper and out so the public will know that it is open for business. And then we'll be closing the inside part on Saturday. That's an update there where we're at. We almost there.
And like Mr. Deal said, or Commissioner Deal said, recycling is a revenue. And hopefully we can get that picked up some more and get some more of the city to get that rolling again. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. But
I do agree, we do need some signs.
I've got stencils
down at the road.
One thing we need to think about is that driveway is not ours. And I need to talk to, see if we built ours. But will he allow us to put a sign out there?
put in the right of way of the cul-de-sac out there for the industrial park, there ain't hardly much you can say on that. Well, I mean, on the right of way of the road.
We're talking about the main driveway, you have to have a sign on the front, let them walk the street.
Yeah.
Because
It's fire, not for it, higher.
full of traffic.
Travelers in or whatever.
Any more commissioner comments?
I got one other thing, contact for Snap-on, they want to talk to you about putting some dumpsters out there for their car corrugated. So does Chris want to handle that or you?
Yeah, I'll take care of that, Mr. Deal.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Favor? Let's go home.
Years around this guy, could you only, but you're not even that old yet.
I'll eat it.
You ain't much. You ain't